Hey guys, welcome back to Halftime Roomies. And today with me I have Roopam Singh.
Sup?
That was not the intro I was going for, but we'll stick with it. So it's been a while we did one of these.
Yeah.
And a lot of has happened since in the NFL and other sports as well.
Yeah.
But we'll focus on the NFL for today. Three main topics. We have the Washington football team, which got renamed.
Right.
We have the Brian Flores lawsuits going on. And we have the Dan Snyder sexual misconduct
Controversy, yes.
controversy as well.
Yeah.
So we'll start with the funny, the
Yes.
Washington football
Yes.
team.
Start happy to sad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they've revealed their name.
Yes.
We've
What
seen-
is this name?
Yeah. So Washington, formerly known as Washington Redskins, are now known as Washington Commanders.
Right. I mean, it's a very mediocre name.
It's a very underwhelming
Yeah.
name for a team based in the nation's capital.
Right. And also take into consideration how long it took
Yeah.
for them to come up with this name
Yeah.
as well. But yeah.
I mean, essentially, it's the W. They have a W logo. Their team crest is wrong because they have 5 years stated in the crest, which are the years that they won the league slash Super Bowl
Right.
championship. Problem is, it's unconventional because teams usually put the seasons that they win it in.
Right.
They've put the years they've won the Super Bowl game in.
Right. So yeah, they couldn't even get like basics
Yeah.
right. Or they just didn't care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The jerseys, we've seen it. They look really pedestrian. They look
Yeah.
like a high school jersey.
Like we were talking about, like the issue is like it's just very mediocre. Everything about this rollout has been just very mediocre for all the time that they took,
Yeah.
that they put into this. Like the results are like, I mean, it's just for all the money that they have. You think like it wouldn't be that tough of a job to come up with something mildly interesting.
Yeah, personally, I would have gone with Washington Wolverines
I like that name.
and have the W as the three claws.
Right.
Right? It just
Yeah.
goes. I mean, it's
Yeah.
fine. I mean, at the end of the day, it's a mediocre team with a horrible owner.
It's only multiple millions of dollars wasted on marketing to come up with absolute mediocrity from
There
a
are-
giant corporation.
So there are talks that Jimmy G might be headed to Washington.
Okay, they could use them.
Yeah, they're putting in bets. I think the odd makers have Heineke as the favorite to start the first game in the Commanders' history.
Right.
Jimmy G, I think, is second. Third was, I think, whoever they draft this year.
Right.
But also, surprisingly yet unsurprisingly, on the list there are Russell Wilson and Aaron Rodgers. I think who are sixth and seventh or seventh and eighth on the odds makers list.
Sierra's not going to let Russell Wilson go to Washington, so that's definitely not happening. Aaron Rodgers, I can see, and if he goes there, so is Devontae Adams. So, but I think there's other. But I think he could go to the Broncos. Is probably where I think
Yeah.
he's most likely gonna
Yeah.
end up.
Moving on from the mediocre team to a horrible manager of that mediocre team,
Yeah.
Dan Snyder.
Right.
Former employees and cheerleaders from Commanders on Capitol Hill detailed allegations of sexual misconduct against owner Dan Snyder. Former video production manager allegedly was asked to produce lewd videos of nude outtakes of cheerleaders from photo shoots without their knowledge.
Right.
Sounds like Dan Snyder.
Sounds like Dan Snyder.
Sounds like every NFL owner, to be honest.
Sounds like every sports franchise.
Yeah.
Most sports franchise owners.
According to Washington Post, the team reportedly paid $1.6 million to a former employee in 2009 to settle a case.
Right.
So it's been happening for multiple decades now.
Right. Right. Exactly.
Right? In 2020, NFL handed a $10 million fine after a year-long investigation to Dan Snyder as well. So again, it's not something we haven't seen, but do you think this could be one of the things that propels Dan Snyder to be forced to sell the Commanders?
Well, like we talked about this as well. I don't know, right? With things like this, we've seen so many sports, like the players, coaches, owners. Like they've had these controversies. I mean, like I said earlier, like I hope you're right and he does go out, because like this is like, if you really read some of that stuff, it's really disgusting, quite frankly. And so yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna miss him.
There's also another news. There's also some more news that came out. I think it was yesterday or today that Dan Snyder might be able to block the release of certain documents from going into investigation.
This is the problem with like these guys essentially being dictators in these organizations, right? Like he probably has like carte blanche to do that. I would imagine.
Yep.
Right.
So I guess we'll wait for some more news on Dan Snyder and see where this goes. In the meantime,
I just want to say it's good that this finally happening more and more. Even in the NHL, I saw something. I forget the guy's name who was sexually harassed about a decade ago as well. And it's good to see like that this is finally happening, and you know the culture is finally changing. It's not just this like boys club as it like it's always been. So it's good to see that. Yeah.
And in, I guess, equally horrible news, Brian Flores.
Yeah.
Brian Flores was to the uninitiated the head coach of the Miami Dolphins until the end of this season. Over the last 3 seasons, he has had a record of 24 and 25, an average record. Nothing too great, nothing too bad. The lawsuit of Brian Flores alleges that in certain critical ways, the NFL is racially segregated and is managed much like a plantation.
Right.
Its 32 owners, none of whom are black, profit substantially from the labor of NFL owners, 70% of whom are black.
Athletes, you meant. You said owners.
So so 70% of the athletes
exactly.
are black.
Yeah, he makes a very good point. In that lawsuit is also, he literally put an image of like all the current head coaches of all the teams, and there's all these white guys and Mike Tomlin.
Yeah.
Right? So that's he makes a very good point. And you know, people will point to his record, but like he was a good coach. He was actually taking the Dolphins in the right direction, considering he didn't have much to work with anyway. So considering what he had, he was actually doing a very good job as well. So let's not also act like he was like some mediocre. Like he's a coach who deserves a job.
Yeah. Flores' suit says he was scheduled to interview for his dream job, head coach of the Giants, the New York Giants, on January 27th. But on Monday before the interview, he received confusing texts from New England's coach, Bill Belichick. And I'll put up the screenshots on this video as well. But basically, the conversation goes something like...
This was funny.
He congratulates Brian Flores on becoming the new coach.
Yeah.
Turns out he was confusing him with Brian... DeBall.
Yeah.
And then he says, "Oh, I fucked up."
You did fuck up. Like, also, there's a theory, and this is just a theory, that like he may have done it on purpose. I'm just throwing out there. I don't know if it's true, but like it's just a sad situation overall. Like, imagine like getting that text and realizing, oh, I think some fucked up shit is happening behind my back.
Yep.
And then like it turns out it's true. And that was like weird.
The lawsuit also notes that Giants have never had a black head coach in their nearly 100-year history. The Giants insist that they interviewed Flores in good faith and nearly hired him.
Yeah.
Now, there's 3 more kind of incidents that come to have come to light over here. The first one being that in 2019, Denver Broncos were set up to interview Brian Flores before he got hired by the Dolphins. Turns out the Broncos general manager at the time, John Elway, and the president and CEO, Joe Ellis, showed up to the meeting an hour late and were hungover.
Yeah, like we are at our jobs sometimes. But, you know, our jobs are a little different. You know, you can do that. This is like, you know, there's millions of dollars at stake. Really what it shows you is like how much they did not care. And it was just to comply with the Rooney Rule, so Roger Goodell didn't have to go to them and be like, "Hey guys," right? Like that's basically like that's Rooney. The Rooney Rule is basically a cover your ass rule.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest issue with it. Is like it's not really addressing the diversity issue, especially if you've regressed to now just having one black head coach.
Yeah. It's a phony rule that just basically ensures that no one can get up and say, "Hey, you did not interview me because I'm black or a woman or gay."
It's a cover your ass rule. Yeah. That's what it is.
The second incident, Tom Brady being tampered by Stephen Ross.
Yes.
And Stephen Ross basically invited Flores onto his yacht.
Yeah.
Ambushed him with the news that, oh, conveniently, I also ended up inviting Tom Brady.
Yeah.
So why not we just interview him, try to see if he wants to come to the Dolphins once the season ends.
Yeah.
Problem was Brady was not a free agent. He was still be under employment by the Patriots.
Yes.
Flores knew that. He got pissed off and he left before Brady could
Did the
arrive.
right thing.
Did the right thing.
Right.
This has led to allegations that it put him in bad faith with Stephen Ross, which hampered his coaching career and got him fired.
Yeah, yeah, and they called him difficult to work with and stuff like that, which is like this is like people of color in general. They'll tell you stories like that a lot.
Yeah. Third incident is that Flores was asked by Stephen Ross to drop games. And for every game that he would tank, he would pay Flores $100,000 in his first season.
Right. And in that moment again, Brian Flores did the right thing.
Yeah.
Right? Because he also called it a bluff, right? Because like then you'd fire him because he did a bad job in the seasons. Then they'd have an excuse to fire him.
Yeah.
Right? Instead he worked with what he had to like do a good job. He won 10 games last season. That's the season I'm talking about? No, this is the first season.
The second season, they won, I think it was 10 and 6. And then this season they were 9 and 8.
Right.
Out of which I think they won 7 in the last 8 of this season.
Yeah.
And keep in mind, it's the Dolphins. It's not the best team. It's not the best players that they have.
Exactly.
So he still did a good job at what he had, at least these 2 seasons.
Yep.
My biggest issue with this $100,000 payment for every game being dropped is if this came out that Flores had been receiving money, regardless of him being fired or not being fired at the end of the season. That basically would have killed his coaching career.
Right.
That's because that's an out-and-out bribery and corruption case,
exactly.
right?
Yeah. Like he put him in tough situations, and then said he was difficult to work with.
Yeah. Basically, Stephen Ross is the kind of owner where there is no winning situation against him.
Well, they're all like this, right? They all run these companies like dictators. They all just want what they want, and they want people to do whatever they say they want without any accountability.
Yeah.
And which is why they get mad when, like, because they're also surrounded by yes men. They finally meet someone who'll say something to them, like push back, and they're just like, oh no, this guy is like so difficult to work with. No, you're putting this guy in a very tough situation. You're putting this guy in a situation where he is doing illegal shit if he actually engages in what you're asking him to engage in.
Flores' lawsuit is basically against the NFL, the Broncos, the Giants, and the Dolphins.
Yeah.
We'll see where that goes. And there's a lot of stuff coming out of the NFL. It's just horrible stuff that's been going on in the leagues. There's horrible stuff that goes on in sports in general.
Yeah.
I think now it's just the last few years where things have started coming to light with the whole kneeling in protest for with the anthem, calling Kaepernick stuff.
Yeah.
Just the Black Lives Matter stuff that's been going on. So there's a lot of incidents that have come to light that really put a lot of pressure on Roger Goodell and the NFL to come clean and at least give the victims a fair chance at redemption.
No, for sure. And we should mention that this is a class action lawsuit as well. Yeah. So, like, this is basically, the lawsuit is alleging that there's systemic discrimination, which we can see is there. And, you know, it'll be good to see how they can prove it. I mean, I just hope Flores makes bank. Yeah, I just hope, like, he drains them.
Hope he makes bank and he lands a good team as well.
I really do hope, because this is a guy. I mean, I honestly, the cynical side of me is saying like he's probably his career is over. I think even he senses it. But yeah, I mean, I do hope so, man, because he's a guy who truly does love the game and he loves to coach it. He says he's good at it and he loves to do it. But he's taking one for the team, which is a big one.
Well, we'll probably get some updates on this at a later date. But moving on to Super Bowl.
Right.
It's only a few days from now.
Yes.
And the Bengals and Rams are here.
Yes.
Predictions on the game?
I mean, I think the Rams are going to take it. I think. I'm not going to be mad if Cincinnati takes it. So, I get it. It's appealing. It's an underdog story, and it's been great to see what Joe Burrow and the gang have been able to do there in Cincinnati. Yeah. But look, man, I'm rooting for. I want Odell to get a ring. I want Jalen Ramsey to get a ring. I want Aaron Donald to get a ring. And I want Matt Stafford, to get a ring. This guy toiled in Detroit.
Yep, for 12 years.
For 12 years. This guy, they all deserve this, man. Like, and so that's why I'm rooting for the Rams. It's not just like, I'm not just rooting for, like, whatever, Goliath.
Any predictions on the scoreline?
Let's take, quickly analyze their defenses and offense.
Well, the defense is pretty tight for Rams.
Yes.
Bengals, if they show up with the same defense they had in the second half
it's going to
against
be a problem.
the Chiefs, this will be a tight game.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I'm guessing.
Do you think Rams could win by more than a touchdown, or will it be within a field goal or touchdown?
I've been
range?
like on this issue. I think it'll be less than 7 points. I think
Less
like
than 7
within a touchdown. I think. Unfortunately, I think like my instinct is to say the Rams are gonna have an easy time because that defense is strong. Man,
Yeah.
right? Like, but like, I don't know, man. I've been wrong before, and I'll be wrong again. But yeah, we'll see. I'm rooting for the Rams to win.
Nice. Yeah, I guess that is it for this week. It was great talking to you, and I guess we'll catch up with more on NBA.
Yeah, for sure. It's great to be back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Baseball season starts in a couple of months.
Yeah. Yes. Right.
So there's a lot
to
coming.
look forward to.
Yep.
Yeah. Good to be back, man. From their perspective, the last time we saw each other was when the last
been a
video
while.
happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
How you been? How's life, man?
It's been good.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll catch up more on that. And that does it for us at Halftime Roomies. It was a fun chat. I hope you guys enjoyed it as well. And do like, share, and subscribe. And see you guys next time.
Peace.
Cheerio. Thanks for watching. And if you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more sports content. In the meantime, click on these thumbnails to check out our other videos. Hope you have a great day ahead.